that shit never falls apart for no reason. That's the good news. So if you ever feel like shit's falling apart, there's a reason. And the only real kind of challenge as shit's falling apart is to the degree at which we allow it. That we think that we're somehow in control of that is the part that I think that whatever you call divinity finds humorous. So.
Can you say that again?
Oh.
That was really good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so when shit falls apart. Hi, I'm Brett now. Welcome to the class. No, so when shit falls apart, the only thing that makes it challenging, so this will probably be a little bit different, but the only thing that makes it challenging is the notion that we think that we somehow control it. And my sense is that on some level, observing that we somehow think that we control it is humorous to divinity, to whatever you want to call it, God, spirit, the universe. And at some point, when we realize, oh, like, I don't control any of this, like, then we find it funny, but usually after, sometimes retrospectively. So in that process, emerged kind of a new awareness about the body, the spine, the nervous system. We had this amazing education. Like I had 21 years of education in network care, so much so that I was teaching at every level, and brilliant, like amazing stuff. Donnie Epstein's a genius. And there was a certain kind of part of the unfolding where we realized like, wow, there's this other thing that's emerging. And so what do you do when you've been, in this case, us, you might throw your own shoes on relative to this narrative, but what do you do when you think that you're supposed to be doing one thing and all of a sudden that starts to fall away? And then it's kind of the question of like, oh shit, now what? What do I do? Anyone ever have that situation happen where you think you're kind of headed down one path and then all of a sudden life either gives you some, like, we might call it crisis or trauma, or ideally it becomes, because I've been through that path many times, crisis, trauma, crisis, trauma, crisis, trauma. This was more like a, oh, you have a choice. You have like a different way to go. Do you want to do it? And so what emerged was this awareness that indigenous people have been talking about for thousands of years, like no new news on the planet. It was just kind of us catching up to the news that had been on the planet for a while, and that is that everyone, everything is composed of very simple elements. That we are all within us the composite of earth, we are the composite of water, we are the composite of fire, mineral, air, and nature. And so tonight we're going to be exploring how does the human body more deeply access the elements of air and nature. What does the body actually kind of do? How does it emerge? How does it breathe? How does it move? How does it connect in such a way that we can be more of our, and express more of our air nature? That we can express more of our nature. And so we're going to go through 3 different exercises, 3 different ways of connecting to your body. None of this work would have ever, at least for us, birthed had it not been for the brilliant genius of Donnie and his work. And so this is us first working with the spine and seeing those different elements and how they play out, and then seeing how somatorespiratory integration kind of started to like form from that. So a big part of this was us just being informed as we started to work with the elements in the spine nervous system. We started to see some different ways in which SRI kind of birthed into some new things. So there will definitely be, if you have had any experience with stages 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you'll see the very birth and lots of nuances of that. And there's going to be some differences too. So we feel really, really like great and grateful that, kind of like the first person that created the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like someone tasted it and they're like, who thought you could mush up peanuts and somehow get a paste that one would put on a slice of bread, but not just one, nay, two. Forward to that, take the fruit of thy tree, mush it quite vigorously into a jam or a jelly, different, not for this conversation, put on the other slice of bread, lay the slices together through lots of trial and error, peanut butter, jelly on the inside, outside, harder to eat. And alas, we have the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, fortunately, it didn't just end there. Someone was like, well, what if we use different kinds of bread? What if we use different kinds of fruit? What if we use like almond butter? What if in the peanut butter and jelly sandwich found in lunch boxes today, can you imagine what kids are eating today? The like primo peanut butter, no, this is not, right. Yeah, I mean, packets.
Yeah, they sell like single serve packs that have some chocolate in them.
Oh my.
Honey.
Yeah, see, I'm not even.
Nutella and jelly.
Yeah, there you go. So there's all these different variations and varieties on the PB&J, which now is probably called the A-Y C or something. I don't know. Make sense? So we're gonna have a different flavor of peanut butter and jelly tonight. That's all I did. You sort of.
First element we're going to talk about then is air. And what I want to say before we go into this is that you're already connected to everything we're talking about because it is existence, it is life. And what we're doing with these exercises, we like to call them actually explorations now, because the elements are there outside of you and inside of you, and this is you exploring what's already there. And the exercises are more of an acknowledgement. Like, we're not creating vortexes necessarily, we're not creating waves, we are doing things in a certain way to acknowledge the truth that's already, and the intelligence and the wisdom that already lives in you, and then like unleashing it. That's it. Because it's all embedded, it's all encoded, it's encoded in your being. So I just want to say that before. So, and I think to me that makes it seem so much easier. It's already inside you and outside of you, so it's downhill from there, easy from there. Air. So I want to.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're pausing.
Maybe.
We'll find out. So I love that, and really lean into exploration. Exploration means you can't fuck it up. Like, it's your body, it's your connection to that element, nobody else's. And just like Chelsea was saying, like, we are all composed of all of these. Some of us more connection with air, some of us more connection with nature, some of us will be like, oh, that's down the road a bit. So no matter what, like, just the notion of exploring it kind of takes the pressure off. So
Yeah.
that seems good.
Thank you, totally. And I want to say, like, yes, you're already connected, and also that doesn't, or well, let me say, it's already there, but are you connected is another question. And then how easy is it for you to connect is a third question. And then, like, we will talk a little bit about what it's like for this element to be energized and like alive and connected and working. And then what it's like when it doesn't work and when it's not connected, and that's really informative. You know, when you're in life and you're like, oh, okay, this could be this, and maybe if I connect in this way, I'll see some change with that. So I want to start by saying that, and sometimes there's stuff in the way of your connection, and it will come up as emotion. It's just like stuff. I consider it like residual, like stuff that's there. So there's not a way you're supposed to feel. I want to say that too. There's not a way. We're gonna talk about some different aspects of it And I want to say there's not where you're supposed to feel. You feel how you feel how you feel, and that's right. So there could be some gunk that you get out of the way, and then like extreme joy, and then this, and then that, and it can be in very fast succession. No right or wrong. So I want to say that as well. And
It can also be sensation, so it could be pain,
right.
it could be emotion, and it also could be thoughts, so you might be like, I don't know what I'm doing, I never did one. So as air and or nature are coming up, there might be things that show up as physical, emotion, thoughts, and so just observe, watch.
So we're going to talk about them a little bit, about air and then nature, and then we're going to do each one and then do it with you. And then after we've done each one, each three, we're going to do all three of them in succession together. We're going to just throw down this big party. So air. Air is related.
It's this. It's everything just like.
Let's hang out in it for a second. Notice the air outside you. Easy to notice. Notice the space within you. Air lives in our existence as space and light. Space and light. We'll keep kind of reminding us of that. The qualities that air helps us to have is trust. This trust that is unshakable, and when shit is hitting the fan, like Dr. Brown mentioned earlier, like at the beginning of the class, it's this like thing that sort of suspends us. It's like, oh, being midair isn't so bad. I might be groundless. Who has ziplined before? You're groundless. It's exhilarating. And ziplining when you feel safe is awesome. Consider ziplining when you don't feel safe. That is air without energy. That's exactly what it is. It's panic. It's like fast thoughts. And something like when this part of us isn't energized, we'll have so many thoughts, and we will actually pursue a lot of knowledge. We will want to know a lot of things, and we'll be thinking quickly. And this is the part of us that wants to get a PhD in something. It's like, I need to know everything about this until you know, and you know, and you know, and you know, and you realize like, oh, I learned what's important in kindergarten. And you know, nothing wrong with a PhD if you have one right now. Like but when you learn enough about something, you start to connect with this like timeless truth. Air is also timeless. It transcends time and space. It can collapse time. You want to say anything else?
I think just with the like, you know, there's what you're speaking to in terms of like filling the mind with stuff, and it's kind of embedded in the word, so knowledge. And the point where air pops open is where, not for all, but for some, if we're like pushing that mental envelope, it's really where there's no ledge. So knowledge becomes no ledge. And then once we cross that threshold and we start to open up into the spaciousness, then it's like there's no thing, there's nothing, there's no thing, it's just space. And then as we explore further into it, then there's like now, so drop the K, and then we start to get to KNOW, which is just like, we don't have to mentally know something, we just like know it. Just like know it. How do you know it? Give me the data. I just know it. But how do you know? There's not a need to answer how or like why. It's just like I just know this. And what's really important about, you know, so there's the element of air, and yes, out here and here, and then there's the connection to it. the capacity to be connected with the element of air that allows that spaciousness that eventually then gets filled. So the mind not feeling so good, it's like, you mentioned ziplining not safe. When I was like 14, 15, I is that the one with the parachute? Parasail, like with the parachute that you're being pulled by a boat. And one of the things just went shoot, and I just was hanging there, and they were driving the boat, not paying attention. I'm like 13, like hanging on, like trying to, freaking out. Yeah. Fucking in the air for like 15 minutes, like just hanging on for my dear life. Like I probably felt like I would have just dangled and then the chute, probably wouldn't have been disastrous, but in my mind it felt very disastrous. I also rode a roller coaster that went loop-de-loops and the thing didn't close. So I did the whole thing forced by gravity. Yeah. So I've had a few things where it was just like,
You're familiar.
I'm familiar with this concept. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so, but made it. And, there's, and so there are these thresholds where it's like the mind can't even process fast enough. And so the only option is above the mind. So we want to take you there without having to go to that level of extreme crisis.
Trauma-free.
Yeah, trouble-free. And it is your soul that's now kicking it.
I got so excited when you said soul, because the information that is waiting for you, that lives in air, is soul information. What is soul information? Soul information is like why you, as an individual, came here now at this time. So we're not going to worry about other realities right now. This one is most important to me because this is where I am. And what you're here to do, who you really are, is what is there for you. And you know how they say, like, I'm gonna go to the mountaintop. We climb mountains to get this like clarity, to get this fresh air, to get this perspective, to get above the trees, above the mind. You work, and you get up and you're like, you see everything. That is soul, that is air, that is why we climb the mountain, that's why we go on the journey, to have this information, to know why we're here. And so what does it look like if that's not energized? You guys might have heard us talk about soul pain before, or someone else talk about soul pain. That's when you don't know why you're here, or don't know what your special gifts are, or you feel like you know your gifts, but like it seems like nobody wants them around you at the time. And this pain is, and some people call it dark night of the soul. It's like where you have the depth and you're going really, really deep. And I think this is why a lot of like philosophers, you'll find that they suffer from depression, is because they have so much depth as a person and they don't always have the energy. So it's like depth is the same thing as height. So think zip line, not safe. Think like having these deep thoughts, deep questions, deep awarenesses, and not enough energy, not enough connection. It hurts. And it's the vibration of it is like screaming on the inside. Like you don't have to actually scream, but that, and it's so intense that it makes people choose to opt out of this reality. It makes people say no thanks in whatever way they do that, whether it's like addiction or like really like totally ending their life, or just like checking out in all the various ways, right? So this connection to air is crucial, and without it, we can get really lost in the culture. It's nice, isn't it, to go climb a mountain or to go on a walk away from people or just a few people, and you get away from the collective mind. Feel that collective mind that's always churning, and it's like says whatever it says, and it tells you whatever you're supposed to be, whatever you're supposed to do, and how to be a good consumer and all that. And And so it's nice to go up on the mountain to remember what it is that you're here for, what you want to be doing, what's important to you as an individual soul. And then with that, when that thinking starts to slow way down, we have presence. So it helps us to be in this like now moment, and not in the past and not in the future, but more in this moment that's like amorphous and hard to even, is time real? Are we sure? Because if we just hang out in it, like how can we really be sure that there is time? And the moments start to expand. And that's where you also can tap into knowing things that you are not supposed to know. Like Brian mentioned earlier, like knowing things that you haven't studied, that somebody didn't tell you, but you come down and you know that you need to call this person. You know, this is the stock to buy. You know, I'm not gonna take that job, even though it looks perfect. You just know. And so you can kind of pierce that access to what's right for you. Is there anything else you want to add about here?
Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Feel complete.
Cool. So when you hang out and connect with air long enough, it'll fuck up your desire for any level of personal growth. Because you feel like, why? Like, I'm already whole. Why do I need to become more whole? And yet, you might be curious about things, but not from a perspective. So you may engage in all the personal growth stuff, but it's not from a perspective of like, because I need something. It's more like, oh, this sounds really fun. It sounds enjoyable. I'm curious about it. And there's also a flip between the doing and the being. So if you're doing stuff, it's driven by your beingness first. So you be, and then from that emerges doing. And the more you pop into the state, you'll start to, your mind might start to say, am I getting lazy? Like, have I lost all my desire to do anything? And that's okay. And that's good, because you probably did too much shit. Unless you didn't, and then you might pop into being a ton of shit. If it was the exact opposite, if you know what I'm saying. So after that being happens, if we're looking at a linear progression, which it usually isn't, but let's just pretend like it is, there is the connection of a lot of space and light that emerges into ultimately an awareness that you're not just a singular soul on a singular journey, that you are connected with everything. You are connected with the very energy of creation. You have capacity to create as you have been created. And this is the nature of nature. So nature allows us, and I love this because this is the way the indigenous, or at least some indigenous, talk about this energy. It's nature. It is an expression of creation. When you look at outside right now, that is a very different scene than if it's mid-January. And all of that happened in a very short time period. Like, it went from nothing to everything really quick. And we have that capacity to create and go from nothing to anything, to create something from nothing. because we are the same stuff. We are made of that. There's no separation between us and nature or the energy that created everything. So nature helps remind us that we are part of the fabric of everything, that we are in fact the tree, we are in fact the ladybug, we are in fact the dirt, we're in fact the stars, we are all of that, and there's no separation. And the more that we engage with nature in a way that we have moments where we kind of break that veil of separation, the more we can come into our kind of illusion of separation and have the capacity to be really powerful creators. But not from a place of like, I am the creator. Just from I, the great Ryan. From a place of like humbleness, because we also get to watch within creation, like no creation lasts. It all expires. And so it becomes really humbling if we're really immersed in nature and we see kind of things born and they also really die. Then we recognize that there is this rhythm, there is this cycle, that we can get very attached to whatever we create. It's probably going to fall apart at some point. Like we didn't create it and it's just like plastic and it's forever, even though we did create that. But our forever is very different than forever. You know, our forever is like, it's going to be 10,000 years, and forever is like, that's nothing. So, when we connect with nature, it helps us remember those cycles. It helps us remember that we have the capacity to create. And it helps us really also be humble about change, because it's always happening. So nature is really just simply about us recognizing that we are creation, and that the energy of that is in us, and we have the capacity to really co-create, which means be in relationship with whatever you want to call it, God, spirit, universe, all of the fabulous. And that there really is no such thing as a creation in and of itself. Like there is, like, you will never create something on your own. It's always going to be some emergence of you and something else, whether it's another person and or some other energy. It is the result of really many coming together to create one, and then so on and so on. That makes sense. You have anything you want to add to that?
Notice how we were talking about air and then all of a sudden we're talking about nature? It just like changed. Ryan's a nature person. Just want to say that.
Yeah.
You can't help it. Like, next thing you know, it's different. It's something else. And we're somewhere else. I wanted to talk about the way nature lives in the other elements. And other cultures call it ether, and it's that essence of everything that is changed. And so nature is in the earth, in water, in fire, in mineral, in air, and it gives it that, it's that life-giving quality that animates it and helps it interact. And so when I talk about the elements, I am talking about like outside in nature, you know, like the way you would think, but we're also talking about your body and the different tissues and the way that they work and your nervous system, all of that. So it's all inclusive. And the way that I relate to nature is that it is creation. It is the creation that's in every cell and in every thing, like the floor and the plants and the air around us. And the way I was raised is to, so not talking about, it's really easy to, like, our mind, it's very easy to attach like a religion to the stuff that we're talking about, because that's the way we're raised in this culture. If you lived in America, and I was raised that there is like God, and then there's like God's creation, as if they're different. And the way I see nature is like there's only one thing. There's only one thing in existence, and it's all netted together and woven together by nature. And that's all there is. And that it's all like what my 8-year-old version of me would call God. It's all the same thing. And versus that there's someone like pulling the strings or controlling it or whatever, and this is my personal truth that I'm sharing with you. And the way that I see it based on my experience of life. And that it all plays an equal role in the magic of life. That's the way that I see it. So like our strands of hair are just as magical as our eyeball cells, as the water we drink and the water in the river, and the leaves on the trees and the dead leaves on the trees and the cigarette butt on the ground. It's all the same. It's all the same.
Cool.
You ready?
Yeah.
Want to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do this. So we're gonna start doing all of these standing. So they'll give us a different like way less limitation in terms of how our body moves, and then we'll change up the positions here. So all right.
Gross. So I'm gonna adjust the.
Oh, yeah.
I'll fix this.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the first exploration that we're going to be doing is what we call abundance. And it's really a way to connect with that energy that's everything everywhere and really amplify your connection to that energy that is everywhere and everything, and bring it into every single one of the energy centers that are on the front side of the body. So we're going to be going between connecting with the nature that is the earth and the nature that is the sky and the cosmos, and we're going to be basically imagine like taking the seeds from the soil that turn into plants, that turn into vegetables, that turn into fruits, and we're going to be pulling those seeds up into our body. And we're going to start at the root. So it's like we're drawing that energy up with our breath, and then we're going to be sowing those seeds into the energy around our body. And that is all one inhale. So you would be breathing in, and then you're going to exhale all the way up the front side of the body, and that's one cycle. Then we're going to be taking the same kind of seeds, but cosmic seeds, so seeds of light, photonic energy, and we're going to pull that photonic energy all the way into our crown, bring it all the way down the whole front body, and we're going to seed it in that same, so this is all one breath. Inhale, we're going to seed our field with it. And then we're going to exhale all the way down. So that's one cycle. Then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to come up to one spot and the next spot. And I'm just going to go through all the spots first so that you kind of get the lay of the land. And then we're going to do it. So the next spot is the pubic bone. So basically we have earth.
Let's go through them all. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Earth.
the root.
You're going to grab your goodies.
This. Every part of your body is sacred.
Yes.
Okay?
So you're going to grab this and enjoy it. You're going to do it in public. Everyone else is going to be doing it. And if you don't do it, now you're the weird one. So that's how we roll in this class.
Oh, that's a great teacher.
So then the second one is the pubic bone, which is a bone right here. And then the third place is in literally each one's a hand width up. So you're covering the whole thing. So kind of like bladder area, then and that's water. And then belly, water. And then just above that, fire. And just above that, below the little bony thing,
So you have,
fire.
this is rib cage, it's
Yep,
right.
it's just right below. So your thumbs will be right at that bone.
Yeah.
And then ribs, mineral. Just above that, kind of heart area, mineral. And then right where the clavicles go, air. Throat, air. Third eye, nature. Crown, nature. 12 spots, 6 elements, each have 2. The math works out. One hand over the other hand. Face, that's the only thing that doesn't really quite get it. You're going to be dragging everything through your face, and overall, way better than Botox or any products you could use. Like you're going to do a facelift every time you come on. There you go. So
I want to say one last thing. You'll notice that we're working with the field around you, and you're going to touch your body. Like the inside and outside is
Yes.
actually a mirror of itself. So same. And they anchor each other into existence. So that's why sometimes when we work with you, we're like way out here because this has to change in order for this to change, or we'll work mostly in your body, and we almost never go out here because for you this has to change before this changes. So
and everyone has both.
both,
And
yeah,
there's an order, and we'll go into that later.
Yeah.
However, for right now, not later tonight, but for right now, the important thing to get is basically we're going to be like connecting the earth to every single energy spot in your body, the cosmos to every energy spot in your body, and like what could be more abundant than that? Something probably, but not many things. Let's say that. Okay, so we're going to go through this, and by the way, the first round that we go through all this is going to be the choreography. So this is like you really exploring, practicing, mess things up beautifully, like do it completely wrong so that you can get all your like, I'm a whatever person, yah-yahs out, if there are any left. Ideally, the list has gotten less since we've been working together. And this is a good opportunity because we're basically like flushing anything that's not like part of the energy of creation, like that's gonna come through and be blessed. So let's start down here and we'll go slow. And by the way, the breath, I used to say there's only 4 ways to breathe until I realized that there's actually a nature breath, which is kind of funny since I'm very connected with nature energy. So there's in the mouth, out the nose, it's one breath. There's in the nose, out the mouth, that's another breath. There's in the nose, out the nose, that's another breath. There's in the mouth, out the mouth, that's another breath. No one said anything about till it hit me. In the mouth and in the nose at the same time, everything. Out the mouth, out the nose at the same time, everything. That's nature. That's nature. It's crazy shit. So if you can pull it off, go for it. Minimally, have your mouth open and just give it a run. It's kind of weird, but that's what it's going to be like. You're going to get a maximum amount of air to get that nature energy in your system.
how I do it is I just like part my lips and I don't control how the air comes.
Yeah, if you kind of
And use the
close them a little bit,
Yeah.
it's easier. It's harder if you do a giant fly catcher, not so easy. Okay, so let's breathe in to the root. That's one breath. That's the inhale. Exhale. That's a big distance to go for that exhale, so it's okay if you kind of ran out. Now we're going to breathe in through the crown all the way down. This is all inhale. Then exhale. It'll feel weird at first, but eventually you'll get it. And we're going to go up to the pubic bone. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Then we're going to go just up above that bladder. we're gonna go to the belly button. Now let's just pause for a moment. It's a whole lot. So just hang, just see what you notice different there. Feel your feet sink and the energy of your soul sink further into the ground. So you're really grounding as you're doing this. Good. Now bring the breath, and we're going to go to that position just above the belly button. So that's the first fire position. So breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just above that, below the sternum. And then the very bottom of the sternum, so solar plexus. We're going to the heart. Then we're going to the clavicles, upper sternum. Throat. Third eye. If you have glasses in your third eye, it's your fourth eye. And then crown. That's a weird one. Good. And then just come to seated in whatever way is easy. And just feel that. Let your body breathe, move, integrate. If seated feels weird, you can stretch, you can move. Whatever position allows you to integrate easily. And just notice what you're noticing, what's different from having connected in that way. Now we gave you like the entire smorgasbord on that one. That's like the super marathon. You want to make sure you know all of the permutations. You can pick one spot to work with and just go between that one spot. You can pick a couple to go with. You certainly do not have to, it's a lot of math. Some people ask, like, well, how do you know when you're done? I usually like to turn off my phone, and then you know you're done when something turns back on your phone and then it rings. So that's one way to tell, because it's literally a miracle. She turned it off, turns back on, it rings. It was nature. Totally.
She wants some of this. She wants it.
She's tuning in.
Yeah.
She's definitely tuning in. So it's like 1, 2, 3 words, doesn't have to be everyone, but just like what's something that you're noticing that's different right now, just to acknowledge that. What are you sensing, feeling, noticing different?
Connection.
Cool.
expansiveness.
Yeah,
Energy.
yeah,
Inner spaciousness.
yeah. Beautiful.
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Open pathways. Yeah. Cool.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
Does it have to be a part in your body that you feel connected to, or like whatever feels?
Yes. Highly recommend first working with areas that feel the most connected. And the very nature and by the name of the exercise, it will overflow into areas that aren't so connected because you're going to pass those neighborhoods. You know, you don't have to stop. You don't need to stop and, you know, buy a water there. You can just keep driving through. And eventually, and that eventually is totally up to you and what feels good, then you can start to go into the areas that feel less connected, feel more protected, more traumatized potentially. So you can absolutely skip over. We're really laying out, like I said, the whole broad excuse me, piece. And then I would, excuse me.
Normally it'd be all about finishing what you're saying, but I don't know what you're saying. This is a weird situation. My opinion on, I don't know what he was gonna say, but go where it works and where it's easy, and then you might find places that are medium. So I like to grade things by like easy, medium, hard. And I pretty much live here until I decide I'm going on a journey. I'm gonna go with the destination of like getting more connection to a place where I don't have it. That's how we work with you, and that's how we recommend it. And all it is like, for any journey, if you know it's going to be challenging, you're going to prepare yourself, right? If you're on a long hike, you're going to bring enough water, you're going to bring snacks, you're going to bring a tent, backpacking, you're going to prepare. And so just know that you want to be energetically prepared, which all that means is like you're feeling connected and alive and rich. That's the energetic preparation for the whatever journey that you're going on.
Yeah, so initially, out of 12, you ought to have at least one that you're like, this feels connected. And how you know that is very easily, as we teach in the Earth class, you can just lay on your back and see what part of the front side of your body is naturally moving with breath. And that's the answer to what's open, available, and has energy. And so then you can do the abundance exercise in that spot. And then from that, you can bring it into other areas. Does that help? Cool, perfect. It's a great question. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is also in the nature family. And right now we're calling it I am unity. So it's really that connection of the energy of like, you are everything. You are connected with everything. And so we'll do a standing version, and then we'll do the laying down version after that. So let's come up to standing and play with that same breath. So you definitely want to be breathing in and out of your mouth, and ideally, if you kind of close your lips a little bit, then it becomes easier to get the breath in your mouth and in your nose at the same time, and then same thing, get on the exhale. So minimally in and out the mouth, and ideally starting to add in that nose breath as well. And so with this one, since we've already seeded from the earth and the cosmos all 12 of the energy centers, we've basically, like, if you could see the energy around your body, you would see that there's a much higher level of permeability between your energy body and your physical body. That's what the abundance exercise does. And as that energy is circulating from your crown, there's like a torus that comes out here, and it goes all the way down, and then it comes up through the perineum, through the central canal, which is French for Chanel or channel. I speak like 20, 30 languages that I made up. So the energy of all these different energy points is now, your field is very rich and thick with that. And so what we're going to be doing with this exercise is we're going to start to, like in prayer position, it's like we're going to be slicing through that energy field all the way through the front side of our body. And we're going to start very close to the body. And as we're bringing the breath, and we're going to just run it from the crown all the way down. And right when we get to about the lower sternum, then we're changing positions and going all the way under into the root. So first is just drawing and dragging this energy. And we're starting to like part the energetic seeds. And we're going along that same central channel that we were connecting all of these. So I really want to give you kind of like the visual of what it looks like. So all of these are starting to like permeate energy through your body and feeding this channel of energy that's coming through here and looping up through here. So everyone kind of get a sense of that. So now we're going to start to like slice through each of these, and it's going to start slow. And then after we've done this a few times through the front side of our body, then we're going to start to bring our hands just about an inch away from the body. So now we're just like a layer. It's like Chelsea was talking to me earlier about this. She's like, yeah, it's like putting frosting on all these different layers of the cake. So we're going to be kind of frosting your field, so to speak. And we're going to come through like an inch away, and then a couple inches away, and then about 4 or 5 inches away. And then we're going to start to get further and further until eventually our hands are coming through and slicing all the way through the field.
Straight arms.
Just straight arms. And as we're coming out, we're going to also be bringing our pelvis in this direction as we get to this one. So the inhale and then the exhale. And so when we start, we'll start hands right at the heart, prayer position. And we're going to start by breathing in all the way up, dragging that energy all the way up to the crown, and then exhale all the way down, and then flip your hands in prayer position and drag them underneath into the root, and then pull it, and we'll stay close to the body this whole time. So inhale, and then it flips at the heart, and then exhale. Inhale, flips at the heart, and then exhale. Good. Inhale. Good. Now pull your hands about an inch away from your body and inhale. Still flipping at the heart. And now you're not touching the body. And now you're going about 2 inches from the body. Good. Each time you pull about an inch away, 3 inches. About 4 inches. About 5 inches. You're coming above the head. Good. Now you're about a foot. Your arms almost straight, and then now you're straightening it all the way through, pelvis thrusting forward. I forgot to say it's really powerful at this point.
then bring your arms up and just hold them. And you can hold them apart, or you can bring them together in prayer position, whichever feels like kind of like having them separate. You get to explore that. Good. And then again, just allow your body to breathe, move, stretch, integrate in whatever way it wants to. Just notice what's different. Notice what you're feeling different. Notice your awareness of your energy around your body, inside your body. What's different about your emotions, your thoughts, just feel. And then again, kind of popcorn style, it's a word or two that describes what you're sensing and feeling differently.
Clear.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Limber.
Limber?
Mhm.
Yes. Any other kernels of popcorn? What else are you noticing?
Self-sufficient.
Say it again.
Self-sufficient.
Ah, nice. What's anyone noticing about their energy, their awareness of their energy?
Feels powerful.
Yeah. Yes. Anyone else notice anything different about your energy?
I feel like a physical sensation, like beyond the body.
Yes.
I feel the density of like here.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we're connecting with this energy of nature, things start to flip. So there becomes more matter in space and more space in matter. So everything that this is how the nature of unity is. The inside and the outside become one thing. So the outside starts to have qualities of the inside, and the inside starts to have qualities of the outside. And the more that we start to kind of flip into that awareness, we part of the expression on a personal human level of nature. So someone who has a lot of connection with nature, they're like magicians. They can just take something that's not there and then make it there. They can take people who aren't there and all of a sudden they're just there. So the capacity to really be connected in nature is like, you're a fucking wizard. How did you even do that? Like, what is it? That's freaky. Like, to the kind of more regular Jack and Jill, it's a little bit like, whoa, that was weird. And it's just, well, you're starting to become aware that things are not exactly as they seem from just a physical perspective, because energy is becoming more like matter, matter is becoming more like energy, and the interchange between those two is happening much more rapidly. So things that were there suddenly are not there, and things that are not there are suddenly there. Things that were in your way are no longer in your way anymore, and things that you need are suddenly just there. And it's not, and this is a really important piece, it's not because you're necessarily consciously creating them. You're aligning with your connection and relationship in the universe, and your mind will say, oh, I want that. And the universe is saying, you're about to get that. And it happens simultaneously, so the illusion can be like, oh, I created that. You're aligned with the universe, and so therefore, you're aware of things as they're unfolding. But it wouldn't have unfolded had you not been aware of that either. So it's this really weird paradox. Did you create it? Well, yes and no, but yes, but not really, and yes, 100% I did. But it wasn't just me, but I definitely created it, for sure, absolutely. But I could never do that just myself, right? And then people who know, they go, oh yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. Everyone else is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Which one is it? Did you create it or not create it?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Clear? Good, okay. Oh yeah. So space
Light,
and light.
yeah.
Which am I doing?
We've kind of just been doing them.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually we do like a demo,
Yeah.
we've just kind of been doing them as
Yeah.
ourselves.
Something like, talk about space and light, and 3 minutes ago, I had this vision of like sitting in a ball of light with a black hole behind me. So,
Yes.
on top of a tree.
That's where we're heading. That's where we're going.
That's where we're going.
So we're gonna,
Can I mention a couple gifts that we haven't mentioned?
Sure.
Of these, like having this connection?
yeah.
You were mentioning co-creation
Mhm.
and synchronicity.
Mhm.
That's definitely like nature. And
Yes.
now we're headed into air with this next one, and it's trust and presence and less about trust on a personal level and more about trust, period. Just your capacity to trust. And then what you decide to trust is up to your discernment, and that's a different class. And that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, and one little expansion on the trust
Mhm.
thing is that it's trusting that that which does not appear to be there will be there, even as you're stepping and it's not there, as you start to place weight on it and suddenly it's there. So other people would be like, I'm not putting stuff in there. But when you trust, like, here's what it's not. It's like, a lot of people think like, oh, trust, yeah, so like when I step, the step will be there before I step on it. So I can see it, and then like it wasn't there, and now it's there, okay, now I'll step. No, trust is, it's not there, and you're stepping. That's trust. The other one is like, you really hope the shit's gonna be there so that you can make sure that you don't fall.
The other one is certainty.
Yeah,
You're gonna.
so,
Raise your hand if you've ever done something before that other people were like, what, like you were walking out and you didn't have anything right there and you're like, I just know, and people were like, that is not recommended, don't do that. It's like you couldn't recommend it for another person, but you just did it. This is like the connection to knowing those moves for you. You know this?
yeah, just because you were standing in front of the mic, so they were looking at a black line instead of you. And we are doing this.
Okay.
So right hand is going to be in the throat. So you want your first finger to just kind of slide along your chin so you hit throat. And then you want all the other fingers to connect with the rest of your throat.
Looks like this.
Mhm. And then the left hand, you're going to be doing first finger to connect with the pinky, and then the rest of your fingertips are going to be on the sternum. This is called the high heart. So here's the heart, and then this is the high heart. So basically, you're connecting the two air positions, throat and the high heart. And then you're going to be breathing in the mouth and expanding your throat and rocking your neck back. And then breathing out the nose and letting that sink in. And so you're really looking to create a lot of space in the throat and the upper heart. And they're really having a conversation as one. So you're creating space and letting your neck rock back. And really, ideally, it's just, and take a look at this, it's not so much like your whole neck rocking back. It's a lot of the rocking is coming from just the very top, right where the occiput, which is your skull, is kind of rocking back on the first cervical vertebra. Then from there, then it starts to rock back more. And that will become easier to do as you get more care. But this is with each breath in the mouth, out the nose, you're creating more and more space.
And if you're feeling kind of gunky or there are stuck parts in this area, just a little sound helps to move that. Like connect to that, like or
So just make, yeah, you can make
Yeah.
sound.
there might be stuff in there.
And then this becomes a little bit different when we're laying on our back because it'll also allow the heart. So eventually what you want to see also is the heart really lifting, the high heart lifting up as the throat lifts up. Good, so a couple more breaths like that. And then you can bring your hands down. And then again, let your body breathe and move in whatever way it wants. And again, just notice what feels different when you're connecting with your body in this way. So again, let's kind of popcorn it out. What's something that you're noticing different? It's a word that describes.
Expansive.
Mm-hmm.
Fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Complete.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My real self.
Yeah,
Trust.
beautiful. Cool. Well played. Can you feel what feels different in the room?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone feel like a shift in the room, the actual energy of the room?
How?
Yeah. It's like this weird thing where it's like there's way more room in the room, but there's also more stuff in the room. Like, what's that stuff? There's more space. Okay, so the light part of it is ultimately it's the same exercise from the starting point. So we're going to connect in that same way, right hand here. I can't even use words now. Right here, just look. Whatever this is, that's where your hand is. And then left hand below it. And we're going to, again, breathe in the mouth, but now we're going to draw the energy of our heart and throat up as we breathe in. And then we're going to exhale out the nose, coming in. So in the mouth, neck rocks back, expanding out the nose. And so this is taking the energy and see if you can actually feel like there's like threads of energy that are coming off of your fingertips, like you're seeding the field. And this one's just very slow, like you're stretching that energy out. And then you're gathering energy from the cosmos and you're threading it. Do a couple more. Out the nose. Neck rocks forward a little bit. In the mouth. Out the nose. One more time, we're going to stay open on this next one. So arms out. And then just hold. Not your breath, but just your arms. And just allow your body to breathe and move in whatever way it wants. You may find it wanting to kind of Do you feel like it's moving you? So just give your body permission to explore that. Yeah. And when your arms want to come back down. Yeah. Good. And now notice what's different with that exercise. So it's similar and it's different. And so see if you can feel like what's a distinction that you're noticing now. So again, popcorn style.
Collective.
Mm-hmm.
Fiery.
Mm-hmm.
Spaciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel the hollow,
Mm.
or I'm connected to me.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah.
Feel it in my heart.
Thankful.
Mm. Mm. Not that I would ever suggest this, because I never would, ever, not even this one time. But this is such a good exercise for marketing. Like you're literally like sending your soul signature frequency out. You're like, this is my frequency. Who's connected with me? Who's coming with me? Who's in? This is my frequency, and just click here.
Or dating,
Yeah,
or job hunting.
it's you sending your signature out to the universe and then gathering light frequencies in. And then it's so easy because you end up like you're scrolling through Facebook and you're like, oh, this is like a friend suggestion. I don't know why, but I'm clicking on. Next thing you know, they're like, hey, I actually know you from this person, this person, this person. I've been like, someone's been saying we gotta connect. I can't believe you just friended me. You know, you're at a party and like, your heart is like a beacon and it's just like swiping through all the extraneous people and like, this person, I need to have a conversation with you. So it's like your throat and your heart are in communication in such a way where it's like very easy to know, who do I need to speak with? Who do I need to listen to? And so it becomes this really easy way to recognize like, oh, my soul is connected to your soul, and this is what we're up to. What are we up to? I don't know. We must be up to something.
We're up to tacos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Frequency-based networking.
Yeah, frequency-based networking. Okay, good. So that was all of them. So now
we can start with abundance.
we're gonna go down and go back up.
You wanna go down and back up?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like climbing the stairs and I like climbing back down.
Okay.
So
Calisthenics. Here.
yes. So everyone find a place on the floor.
Do we wanna, maybe I can demo on the floor too, once we get here, so that they can see, so everyone can see,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
this
Yep.
air exercise
Yep.
looks like.
So we're gonna go through. We're gonna go through, and yeah, because it'll look different on the ground than it does standing up. And by the way, it's really great to have both ways to do it. Because, you know, there's some times where you're like somewhere where you can't, you're like in the men's bathroom stall. And, you know, like, I'm not laying down in this shit, like literally. And, sorry, that was for my enjoyment. And so, you know, you can do this, like you can do this in an airport bathroom stall. And I know that because I've done it.
Same.
In the future. So we want to be able to have a way to access this connection where you don't have to have a yoga mat or a nice floor to lay on. So that's why we showed it in the way that it is, and it'll play out differently. The abundance one we do standing up, I mean, you could do it laying down, but we're not going to do it laying down here. And the space, light, I am unity, we're going to do all of those in that order here. And it's just going to be like a dance, one move into the next, into the next. So we'll show you what the dance looks like. And this part will actually be kind of quick because you've already got it and you've got the choreography down and your energy and matter are already interfacing and exchanging in all of those ways. And now it's going to be just like really kind of fun. So this is going to be a little bit different exploration. So the first part, you had to get the choreography, you had to get the moves. This part, allow it to be, instead of you exploring it, so to speak, see if you can invite it to explore you. Invite air to explore you. It's a very different relationship. Both are important. And at times you'll feel the vacillation. You'll be like, nothing's happening. Cool, jumpstart it. You explore it. Then notice when it starts to explore you. Because ultimately, oh, it's not a chainsaw, that's creepy. It's a lawnmower.
Oh, I
Yeah.
live in the country.
Yeah, she's chainsaw. I'm like, she grew up in the country where she actually knows how to use a chainsaw. I grew up like in suburbia mowing lawns.
I guess
so
I would make a chainsaw scary.
she would.
You're up in
Yeah,
the
I'm like,
suburbs.
I don't know, yeah. But it's basically like, you know, when you pull the mower out, you know, after the season, you're like, you know, then it goes like, so you might have to pull the thing a couple times and then the engine kicks off. So really consider the possibility of the elements exploring you. Here's the benefit in that. When you allow, because again, the reality is that like you're doing your life, and I'll tell you when life becomes magical is when it's doing you. Let life do you. You don't have to do shit. You just be. You be, and life will do you. We have it backwards where we're like doing life. We're like, nobody does life like life. Life's fucking amazing at being life. Like, you're okay, nothing personal, but life's way better at doing life than you are. So you just be. First it'll be scary because like nothing's happening. Perfect. That's like just the invitation. Give it a moment. If you need to, you know, turn it over a couple times. Meaning do it, do it, explore it, but then look for the moment where it starts to explore you. Because the reality is I'm saying it's not separate, it is you. You are that nature. You are the air. Does this, everyone kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about? Cool, let it take you over. Okay, so, yeah, we're gonna start with space. So, you may begin whenever you want. I'm gonna do less. So part of this is, and she's very mineral, and how that operates is mineral's gonna turn into like a crystal. She'll posture, she'll turn into like, whoop, there. Like that's how minerals operate. So if you don't have a lot of mineral, it may be harder to like all of a sudden get your body to just form as if it's like a living crystalline matrix, but you know, that's her nature. Sorry, I'm using that term interchangeably. That's her elemental makeup. So her neck is rocking back, and then, you know, the third, sorry, poking her third eye. She opened up her eye, she's like, what is that? Why are you poking my eye? 'Cause, sorry, give her a little space. Thus being the nature of the exercise. So part of that is also as the throat's opening up and the heart's connecting, then the energy will also start to spill over into the third eye and crown. And then from there, that energy of light, so now light starts to stream and overflow. So from space, from nothingness, something emerges. And what emerges is the light And so if you can pull this off, like, you know, we can get underneath there. If you can't, don't worry. It's still working. But there's a certain point where there's so much levity and light in the heart, then it starts to actually express in the body as that. Your heart becomes, her heart is leading, her head's following. That's a good way to go. That's what we're looking to create, is the capacity for that. And then just bring prayer position and start at the heart. So we're going to start at the heart, and then as you breathe in, drag that energy all the way up to just the crown, and then exhale, dragging it all the way through. Yeah, and you'll see it exchange as we hit kind of that heart solar plexus area. So the first few parts are through the body, then she'll start to go a little bit above the body. And the pelvis will start to lift as well. And then once you've kind of cut through, and so our system, once it hits a certain energy state, it'll just go into, this is how yoga was developed. People would get into such heightened states of embodied creation that they would pop into an actual form. It's, you know, we're made of water, and if you play a tone through water, it changes its shape. If you've ever seen, there's a Japanese scientist that played different tones, music, said words like gratitude, and they would literally turn into these beautiful crystals because the word's a frequency vibration.
The body works the same way.
Mm-hmm. Cool, and then after we get through that, then we'll stand up and we'll go through abundance. So go ahead and lay down on your mat. And first, just lay on your back with your knees up. And allow your arms, a lot of times we say hands face down, actually allow your arms to kind of spread a little bit and palms up. So we really want to be in an open position. This will also let you see if you have enough room, enough space. So I think we're good. I'm a little bit concerned about her hands.
And
Yes.
you know what you guys might do is just flip around, then, or move your mat, actually move your mat closer.
Yeah.
Then we're all
Heading the same direction. Yeah.
So yes, so that you can have,
Yeah, you want to have,
reach your hands, everyone, above your head, and make sure.
you're not hitting a wall. And if you're hitting
Yeah.
anything, then you want to move your body position so that you have full.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So allow, now that you've got your space, we're going to embody a little more space. So allow your arms to just gently rest. And allow your breath in the mouth, out the nose. In this breath of air, this breath of air, as you breathe in the mouth, out the nose, naturally allows for more spaciousness. Good. So that's really good. Everyone's on their back, your arms are open, your feet are flat on the ground. And with every breath, I want you to feel an expansion of space inside your body and outside your body. So you're literally breathing in and creating more and more space with each breath. And then allow your neck to start to rock back as you breathe in. So you can just start to feel that connection, that movement, and then out the nose and let it rock forward a little bit. And with the breath in, as your neck rocks back, see if you can feel your heart starting to expand and actually create space, not only within your heart, but around your heart. so that your heart's starting to lift off the ground and your neck may rock back. Now bring the fingertips of your right hand, first finger sliding down the bottom of your chin so that all 4 fingers, so all your first through your 5th finger minus your thumb, are directed gently into your throat. And your left hand, first finger is connected to your pinky of your right hand, and the fingers are actually angled down a little bit into your sternum, so the notch of your sternum in the high heart. And now, as you're breathing in the mouth, your heart and neck are rocking back, heart's expanding and creating more and more space. Out the nose, it's rocking a little bit forward. So it's kind of like the in-breath is 2 steps, and the exhale is just 1 step. So with every breath, you're opening up more, you're expanding more. Think, contract a little bit, but then you expand even more on the next breath, and you contract a little bit. Good. With every breath, a little bit more space, a little bit more space. Good. And now feel the space starting to be filled with light. Feel this space beginning to be filled with light. And now draw some of the light of your high heart and throat. And then on the next inhale, expand your arms all the way up to the sky, to cosmos. And then exhale out the nose, bring them all the way back into that position of throat and high heart. In the mouth, expanding, dragging, drawing slowly. And then exhale, pull that cosmic energy into your throat. So you're going to be expanding, holding, like your arms are all the way up into the sky. So straight up into the sky, not up above. There you go. Like you're holding the sun or the moon. Good. So your arms are going to be going all the way open, 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 straight up. Good. And when they're done, let them be done. Let them drop very gently down to the ground. And just allow your body to integrate. Beautiful. And now, bring your hands together in prayer position over your heart. And feel the energy that's emanating from your heart. Feel the breath, the space, the expansion of your heart. Very gently press your hands together a little bit, and that friction will actually expand your heart a little bit more. Good. And then you're going to be shifting your breath a little bit here, where minimally you're breathing in the mouth, out the mouth. If you can also breathe in the mouth and in the nose at the same time, out the mouth and the nose at the same time, great. If not, minimally breathe in the mouth, out the mouth. Good. And on the next inhale, draw the energy, touching your body like you're dragging the energy and the tissue all the way up your heart, through your throat, over your chin, your nose, your third eye, till the prayer position is up to your crown. Don't go higher than your crown. You're touching your body the whole time. Then exhale, dragging the energy along the tissue of your body, the front side. As you get to the heart, solar plexus, flip it down, all the way down, and then go all the way into the root with your prayer position. And then breath in and drag the energy all along. Let it flip around your heart, come all the way up underneath the chin, the face, the third eye, the crown. And then again, drag the energy all the way down. And start to notice as you get down towards your pelvis, your tailbone may kind of push up. Your pelvis may start to lift, like in the bridge position in yoga. Good. And now you're going to start to inch away from your body. So now, on the next exhale, drag the energy about an inch from your body. Same kind of positioning, same movement, but just about an inch above your body, and then the next one about 2 inches above your body, all the way through that same motion. So now you're going to go just a little bit above your head, good, and then thrusting the pelvis up on the exhale. Once your pelvis hits down there, good. Then you're going to be about 3 inches, and then 4 inches, and then 5 inches, and eventually you're going to get to the point where your arms are totally straight and you're chopping through space like a lightsaber, cutting through your field and opening you up to the energy of creation. So it's like you're slicing through your energetic field until it's so open that there is no separation between you and all of creation. It is all one, united through you as you. And it may want to start to speed up more powerfully. If it does, let it take you over. And it can stop whenever it wants. And then allow your body to breathe, move, sense, feel, sound, position. Shake, shimmy, twist, boogie. There is no better way to do laundry, to cook food, to fold clothes, to take out trash and recycling than doing it as all of creation. There is no better way to perform a task than to do it as the microcosm embodied of all of creation. After enlightenment, chop wood, do laundry, finish texts, post on Insta. So with that, it may seem a little crazy for some of you, depending upon what state you're in, body, to stand up. So do your best, go slow, be gentle with yourself. And we're going to finish with abundance. This time we're going to start in the cosmos. So we'll wait. And as you're standing here, just notice what you're feeling, sensing different. Good. So let's popcorn a couple words. Let's anchor this in.
Yes.
Yes. What else? Free. Beautiful.
Grounded.
What else?
Speechless.
Yeah. Words. What are those? Okay. So again, breath, ideally in the mouth and nose. At the same time, minimally just in the mouth. So pull the energy of the cosmos into the crown. and then back up. And then, I don't even know how do we do this?
Exhale, into the crown.
All the way down. That first one.
It's
Then we're gonna
okay
go
to
all the
ask
way up to
for
the crown.
directions.
Oh yeah, that's easy. Okay, and then third eye. And then exhale. Good. To the third eye. And exhale all the way up. Good. Into the throat. That's one breath. And then exhale all the way down. Back up to the throat with the earth energy. All the way up to the cosmos. Good. Into the high heart. Follicles. All the way down. Back up to the high heart. All the way up. Into the more traditional heart space. Back to the heart. Up to the cosmos. Solar plexus. Bottom of the sternum. Earth energy to the stern, bottom of the sternum. Just below that, one hand with second fire position. Good, same position. Good, just one hand with above the belly button. Again, just above the belly button. Belly button. Where you're connected with your mama. The origins of you. Water. Bladder. You go at a pace that works for you. Bladder. 2 more stops. Pubic bone. Pubic bone. And final stop, roots. Curl your fingers all the way under and out. Gloriously connecting your root. And then all the way up to the cosmos. And then just hold. Let your body breathe and move with your hands outstretched. Where are you? When are you? And let your body change position. Let it integrate, breathe, move, sound, feel, sense. Notice the difference between your physical and your energy body right now. So right now is a really good time to just allow a person who showed up in your life as an angel and just hold the awareness of this person and just say whatever thanks or prayer of gratitude inside for this person. They're very attuned to you. It's a great moment to just give thanks to some human being that showed up in your life as an angel. And now I want you to think of someone that you have been an angel for and feel the gratitude of being able to play that role, of being able to be of service to that person for no reason other than it just seemed like that was the nature of that relationship, and so you did. and just give gratitude for that person receiving, to whatever level they could, your angelness. Pro level coming up. Consider allowing someone in your life who's been very much a player of resistance or dark energy or just a general or very specific pain in the ass. And I want you to consider the possibility of just sending them some love, some peace right now. If you have no desire to, then it's not time. But just see if you can allow someone who might have been like resistant, even if it's just a little bit, and in this moment, in this state, send that person some love. And finally, I want you to consider a group of people, whether it's someplace that's just had a lot of trauma on the planet, a specific type, race, religion, gender, the president, whatever, someone who just needs help. They need this vibration right now. And if it feels good, just give them your blessing, your energy. This is how we change the world. We get so connected, so abundant, and then we just tune in. And we say, where in the world needs help right now? It's easy at this point. Beautiful. Thanks to everyone for showing up tonight. So appreciate you being here. Thanks for all the people who are online tuning in, anyone who catches this later. We're at such an incredibly special time on the planet. People will write and speak about this time period for years, for decades to come. Be like, holy shit, you lived during that time, that crazy time, you're actually alive? That is fucking crazy. Tell me about it. What was it like? And just so you know, we make it. We do make it. And it requires us to really be connecting to these higher levels of our awareness, of our connection, of our divinity, of our unity. And first and foremost, being able to find in ourselves that capacity to bless ourselves. And then from that, let it spill over. So in a certain way, I don't know that we can really get how important and powerful it is that we did what we did tonight. We don't have to, that's not the point. And at the same time, I we want to truly thank you and acknowledge you tonight for being here, for being part of this incredibly crazy, wackadoodle, amazing, glorious, fucking terrifying, and quite yummy, delicious time. So thank you for being here as well.
And remember, your body, our body, is our ticket for being here. It's your vessel. And it's an ever-present fountain that will never run dry of this energy. It's boundless and it's endless. And if it doesn't seem like that, then acknowledge that illusion. And then you can't tap it. It's always there for you. And you can just pull it out in these times when you need it, and so much more than you need that overflows that other people can receive too. And you never know how far reaching that will go.
Yes, so yay for us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for being a part of this with us.
Yes. Our request is that you roll up your mat like you're a Jamaican Virgo spleef roller.
Do you want us to spray?
Oh, yes,
Spring
and
is really in right
yes,
now. Yeah.
yes, so there's a couple bottles.
Sprays.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I'll be the spray fairy and I'll just go around.
There we
and
go.
Spray everyone so quickly.
Hey, everyone.
You
I can only see me right now. I can't see anyone's face because thank you so much for being on the call with us. We so love and appreciate you, and I am going to click end on this meeting. So have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you soon.